What's up, Mustafa? How are you? What's up, Cheryl? West Africa, no doubt, man, no doubt. That's awesome. Are you there now? It's crazy with the technology. Yeah, we can just discuss things with people from all over the world. Daniel Blank, what up, dude? Long time. What's up, dude? Can someone message Jeffrey and just tell him I started again already? Hopefully he. Oh, there he is. Okay, perfect. Not a man. Telling me and Jeffrey Phillips are gonna talk about probably uh, stuff about. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'm not really sure what we're talking about, but should be fun regardless. I'm always try to be a good time. I don't know yet. I think we're gonna figure that out. Jeff, you coming in, bro? I'm pretty sure I sent the invite already. I think you just gotta click on it, man. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna figure it out. We might talk about Christian good and children because that's always fun. Jeff, you hopping in, man? What up, Shady? Shady, what game you playing now, man? Oh, here we go. No, we're not actually debating. Well, nothing if not entertaining. Well, thank you. I try to be at least remotely amusing in my nonsense and banter. What up, Ramon? What's up, Frank? It's a nice view I got. There he is. I love that. He's got the upside down flag. Good for you. What a joke this country's turned into. Started with good ideas, though. That's for sure. I like the ideas that
You
he
there?
started with. Yeah, I'm here, brother. I don't see you,
Okay.
though. I just,
Yeah, give me another 3 minutes if possible.
oh, okay, no problem. So in the meantime, I'll just, I guess I'll bullshit with the people in here. They're fun.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Do you have a favorite debate that I was in or anything? I try to make it at least remotely amusing. I'm not sure. I think we actually might discuss. We might just discuss a bunch of stuff, but I think we should discuss Christian good and his obsession with children. I don't know. What topics would you like me to see talk about? What's up, Fred? Fred, I got to come back to that gym, man. What's up, Jenna? Mustafa, I already got Jeffrey on the video. What's the matter, Benny? Endgame. There he is. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Good. Give me a second.
Sure.
You hear me?
I do.
Okay, cool. Give me another 1 minute.
No problem. No, that's fine. You're not gonna yell at me like Christian, are you?
Whew, sweaty.
Uh, yeah, he does. He actually turned purple in the last debate, like literally, like on some Grimace McDonald's, like purple. Like he really, purple people. Like it's like, how is this even possible? His excuse is that he was drunk, but I've been drunk, I mean, thousands of times probably, and I never turned purple, which is interesting. Oh yeah, I mean, Benny, I mean, yeah, that's what this country's turned into. Would you not agree that this country's been turned upside down? Well, what's wrong with turning a flag upside down? That's probably been made in China. If we're being honest with ourselves, like chances are, Ben is watching. That's an interesting name. What's up, Ben? So he became Oh yeah, yeah, right. That's my goal. Become Thanos. Thanos is my hero. He's so dope. I just love how he just comes in and destroys everything, and he's noble too. That's definitely one of the benefits to Thanos. He's not out for trivial goals. All right, people are watching. That's cool, man. All right, all right. What's up, James? How you doing? Nice, James. James and then nice, James. Interesting. So, like, if people have topics they want me to talk about, like, let me know. I'm interested in hearing. I kind of just ramble off the top of the head because I'm not really much one for planning. That was never really a strong suit of mine. So I kind of just go in and do things, as the Joker once famously said. How you doing, James? What's going on, man? You gonna come live chat one of these days? I shouldn't even really be doing this because I'm supposed to be in hiding right now, but Jeff hit me up, and I was like, you know what? This guy seems all right. Let's do it. Let's do it. What's up, John? How you doing, man? I miss you, bro. You're always a good laugh, this guy. Jonathan Rizzi's the man. Well, Benny, tell Tom to. I'll totally go live with Tom again, like no question. That was fucking great. You know, he didn't. I don't think Tom did so great last time though. I mean, he pretty much agreed with everything I said, which would mean he's an anarchist, which is usually what happens with everyone. It's just that it's just hard for them to figure it out themselves, you know. So I'm the man. I'm working on it. Jonathan, I don't identify as the man though, so you take that back. I'm offended. I'm reporting you. What's up, dude?
Yo,
What's up, brother? How are you?
there you go. You see
You know,
me?
yeah, I just thought of a joke as soon as he sat down. I was going to say, not my government, but they want the shirt off your back, you know? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah, I'm stupid. Pardon me. So what's up, dude? How you doing?
Pretty good. Just surviving.
Right, that's pretty much what all of us are doing, you know? Which makes
Seriously.
you wonder what happened to the prosperity we were promised as children. That's always a good question.
No kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I think people are let down that you're not Christian good. That's a compliment, by the way. But you know, you're like, "Where's Christian?" They want to see me debate Christian again, and I'm like, "We're pretty much, I think, on the same page, right?"
Yeah.
You know?
I
Yeah.
got to I'm trying to find someone to moderate the gun control debate I'm going to have with him because I've been every so once in a while I'll post on Facebook and I'll be like, I'm looking for, debate partners for these 12 things. And I'll get
Hmm.
nobody.
Yeah. People
Like
don't seem to like to go
nobody.
live.
No,
Yeah.
No, they'll go crazy in the comments with me, but they will
Yeah.
not get on tape. I mean, I guess, it takes a little bit to sit in front of a camera and talk, I guess. I don't know.
I suppose.
But
I don't know. Yeah.
a lot of people, you put a camera on them and they can't put two sentences together, and I understand
Yeah.
that. But I just, after watching, your debates with him, I'm like, I want it to be, I've been waiting for, like, I confronted David Hogg last year,
Oh
like,
yeah, I saw the picture of that. I thought
yeah,
that
and
was
like,
fake. That was real.
no, yeah, everybody thought I photoshopped
Yeah,
myself
I
in
totally
that.
thought that was Photoshop. Really,
No,
that's
it's
fucking
real.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's funny, man.
I was
He's not.
out
He's not
some.
there now, is he?
No, he was.
I'm just being stupid.
This was an event.
Yeah, sorry. You gotta watch me. I'm sorry.
This kid I know from I met at like a protest or something. Hit me up one day and he's like, "Dude, I'm looking at David Hogg right now," and I'm like, "Shut
Mm,
up!" And he's like, "I'm in downtown," and I was like, "What?" And so I beeline down there. I didn't think I was gonna make it, but I got there and was just like face to face with the guy. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
asked him some stuff, and he's such a pro now at just dodging like
Oh
sliding
yeah.
questions. It's so funny, but he's creepy. He's like, I shook his hand, and it was like, ugh. Like he had these like
Really?
pasty, weak, like thin fingers, and like
Yeah.
he was just like no weight to it. He's at least 6 feet tall. Like
Hmm.
he was straight just as tall as me. Which when you watch him on the news, he's like they always shooting down at him to make him
Making
look
them
like a
look
little
more
kid.
innocent and
Yeah,
yeah,
to make
yeah.
him look like a little kid.
It's like when
He's
you go into the police
definitely
station and things up here, and it's just kind of like, why is the Hey, you're trying to intimidate me. I see through your fucking mental gymnastics. I'm not scared of you. You're just wearing a costume.
yeah.
Sorry.
So
Sorry.
and then he's obviously not 17 years old or however old. I guess he's like 18 or 19 now. But he was definitely in his 20s. Like that dude's such a fucking crisis actor. It's not even funny.
Yeah, yeah. The fact, you know what really bothers me? The fact that like pretty much now everyone admits and agrees that crisis actors are real. Like that was like a conspiracy theory. You know, if you're a crisis actor, you're crazy. Now it's just readily accepted. And like, don't you just understand? If they have crisis actors, that means that they're making some of the stuff up. If
Oh
they're
yeah.
making some of the stuff up, then the conspiracy theories are real. You know,
Yeah.
like things are that simple.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. Remember the Boston bombing? There was like a picture of a leg that was like blown up,
Hmm.
and like an orthopedic surgeon, looked at it and was like, "That's not real. 100% guaranteed
Really?
not real." And everybody was like, "Oh, well, so what if it's not real? So what if it's not real?"
Yeah,
If
right,
that
right.
one is not real, then that means the
Yeah,
whole thing's not real.
right. I was having a conversation with somebody once, and like I mentioned about how like even if like like just a few out of 10, let's say like shootings, like these shootings that are fake, even if like 1 out of 10 of them is fake, that means they're still doing it. Even if it's let's say six are real and four are fake, that means that they're doing it. That means that
Dude,
your government is actually faking these things for an agenda. So if you know
nine
that,
nine
that
out of
would
ten of
imply.
them are fake.
I would probably agree with you that like yeah, 8 or 9 are probably fake. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And you also just see how
if
these
you're
people
mad
are.
at the world, why would you go to a school
Yeah,
and
right,
shoot kids
right,
up, and
right.
not
Yeah,
go to a government facility and shoot a bunch of cops or politicians or something?
I
I
just
mean,
don't understand. Like, it's the same thing with terrorism. Like, I don't understand. Like, if if you're mad at the people that caused like all the bombings on your country, why would you just go into like a movie theater and kill people? You know what I mean? Like, they had nothing to do with it. Like, that's why I don't believe
seriously.
any of it. It just, I know, if the roles were reversed, like, I wouldn't be mad at the people in like the market in Pakistan. I would be mad at the people that actually did. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's what I
Yeah,
mean. People just don't like to critically think about anything.
yeah, for sure. So back to Christian. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
trying
gonna
to
be fun.
find a moderator who's just somewhat neutral on gun control because I'm gonna fucking it's gonna be fun
Yeah.
once I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, he's
But
probably gonna try to dodge the bullet on that one, pun
well,
intended.
yeah, and he was all, "Oh, we don't need a moderator." I'm like, "Yeah, right, dude."
Yeah, yeah, just to point out, because I like that guy Yakalimov. I don't know if I pronounced it right or whatever, but like he wanted to
Yakov?
moderate. Is that how you say it? Yeah, I never said it
Yeah,
out loud. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
no, he wanted to debate me with a moderator, but like if you watch my debates with Christian, like I don't need a moderator because like I just let him just spew venom at me, and I just kind of like bobbed and weaved and just like you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
in your case, then yeah, I don't blame you because I kind of do that for sport because to me it's just good to see like how the mindset of like these liberal people are. But yeah, I totally want to watch that.
Dude, he's like the quintessential. He's like the
Yeah,
perfect candidate, but
yeah,
he's so confident that he's the perfect candidate for debates because
yeah.
he will say all those things that you need him to say,
Right. He's a
when
great
you,
bullshit artist. That's why I like him.
yeah.
Like, I don't actually know him in real life. He's like a friend of a friend, like this guy Anthony Capone I know from the gym. He's like one of his buddies or whatever. But like, he was always like harassing Anthony, who's a Republican. And I kind of jumped in there, and he was the first person that was like willing to live debate me. So I was like, oh shit, I got someone like finally, because for whatever reason, people don't want to fucking debate me. And what happened was, we had the first one. I was trying to like feel out his position and everything. And it wasn't like that much of a debate because we were kind of like, I don't really know where he was coming from.
It's more
The
of a
second one,
discussion.
yeah, right, right. The second one was just like it echoed like crazy, so you can't watch. But the third one, I ran through him like Godzilla did downtown Tokyo. Like it wasn't even fair. Like everything, it was just like, well, like just you're just done. You're like, But the thing is with him, what you got to watch for him, he is good at bullshitting, which is why it's good sport for me because he
Yeah.
does it fast and he kind of anytime you make a good point, what he's going to do is change the topic. That's what he does
Yeah.
over and over again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Yakov's pretty funny, dude. I've had some run-ins with that guy. He's West Coast. He's cool, dude, but
Yeah, I don't think he likes me too
um
much. I
he
don't think a lot of
supports
people like me though.
Israel.
So
He
yeah.
supports Israel big time. And me and a buddy of mine, back when I worked for Adam Kokesh and he lived out here in
Hmm.
LA, um, we had like a party because we did a pilot for Discovery Channel, me and Adam did,
Hmm.
and we had a party for the debut of the pilot,
Hmm.
and Yakov showed up, and me and my buddy we were like, "Hey Yakov, like what's the deal with this?
Right,
You
right.
have this undying support for Israel, but you're a libertarian anarchist that,
Yeah. Self-interest.
like, doesn't really make sense." And it was I think we went for an hour, and it was pretty funny because he just I don't know. I've debated several Israelis, and they have a very similar pattern of things that they say and things that they do while talking to you or
Programming.
debating with you about
Yeah, it's
Israel. And
just more
it's,
programming. Like again, the religion just
yeah,
controls the right side of the brain, the imagination part, and the government
yeah,
controls the left side of the brain. So when you fall into one of these things, they have
yeah,
control over your brain. That's all. I just don't
yeah.
believe in any of this stuff. I think they've been fucking lying to us since the dawn of man, and most people don't have the internal courage to be like, hey, they're lying to us. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I've been an atheist for forever now, and
Are
then
you?
one
Can I?
day
Can
I
I?
was just like, no, I'm agnostic now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We were
Right?
lied
Because
to about everything.
that's the thing. Atheism is a religion too. That's the thing.
Absolutely. Well,
It
you
is.
have to. It absolutely is. It's just it's another it's another two-party paradigm basically.
Right.
It's
And
oh,
they want people
and
in
they're
that. It's
just
just
as full of shit as the religious people are, you
right.
know, like
That's why the government propagates. They want the Darwinian theory of evolution, either people to fall into that, or they want people to fall into the creation thing. It's the same thing. The left and the right side of the brain. They
yeah.
don't want any other ideas like running around like, hey, like you ever read those Sumerian things? It's kind of interesting. I think there might be something to that. I could
Yeah.
be wrong. I'm not religious about it, but when you weigh the evidence, it makes for an interesting story. You know. Um,
Yeah.
but let me, you're not, like you said, you're agnostic, right? Is that the word? I'm not great with terms.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like
I don't know
I
what's
don't
going on.
think yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I'm definitely not arrogant. Like even like
Yeah.
it's there's anyone who says they know what's going on is full of shit.
Lying, full of shit,
100%.
total liars,
Full
right?
of shit.
I find it very freeing personally. Like that's the thing.
Oh
The fact
God.
that no
Dude,
one's,
it's the highest level of Zen activist. Like
yeah,
you're
that's
once
the
you
thing.
chill out and you aren't angry anymore and you're just like, I have no clue what's going on and I'm just
Yeah,
pondering things. You know,
right.
it's a total different level of Zen
Yeah,
that you get at.
right. That's where I think of the
And it's
jokes. I'll
so
just be thinking
obvious
about
when
dumb
people
shit.
aren't in it, you know, aren't there yet. It's so obvious. People are, you know, still arguing about Trump and shit. And I'm like, are you
Right.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, right, right. Well, on some
Like
level, I
really
have to
good
say,
anarchist
I
friends
don't
of mine are,
hate I don't hate
go ahead.
Donald Trump, but I don't hate him because he makes me laugh. I'm totally against him and any type of
Yeah,
president, but like I have to admit, I'd rather see him in office than the politicians just for my own personal entertainment. I giggle like a
it is funny.
schoolgirl every time he says tremendous.
Yeah,
Like I can't wait for
yeah,
the next time. I'm like, when is he going to say it? When is he going to say it? Say it, you know? But yeah,
yeah,
it's all a lie. Like these people think Trump's going to say it. Nothing has changed. I mean, I wouldn't say he's this
yeah.
terrible
No,
president compared to the other ones, but he hasn't done anything differently. Like it's just more of the same
no.
shit. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, like
You
Christian's
know?
post that yesterday that was all like, oh,
It
Trump
worked.
is literally the Nazi, then like, you know, voting this, voting that, voting third party is bad. You're like,
Yeah,
oh my God, dude. You give me a
yeah.
break.
He still falls
But
into
yeah,
it.
like
That's the thing. His opinions are just dictated to him by the television. Like none of his opinions are actually his own, which is why it's fun to debate him because I can just, like I said, point out like, no, you got this from here. These aren't conclusions that he came to. He was just dictated. He thought it was
oh yeah.
hip. It was going to make him, fit in with everyone else. I'm part of the in Hollywood crowd and all that type of shit. And like I said, none of it actually makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like on one end, they'll go to war, but then they're before the abortion and all that. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, against the
And
abortion, but they're for
even
troops. And
like
I think I said that
anarchist
wrong.
friends of mine, you know, like that are especially like friends of mine in the media that I know are diehard anarchists that are writing these articles about Hillary Clinton and all this garbage that's just not true. And I'm like, how are you guys still doing this? Like, I thought we
Yeah,
got past this point 5 years ago. You know,
right. A
like
long time ago. Yeah,
2012 is when we learned all this shit was bullshit. How are you still talking about it again? You know,
yeah.
like look
The
what they
only
did to Ron Paul in
yeah,
2012.
or
This
completely
system
ignored
doesn't
them.
work. It's all bullshit. Why are
Right.
you
It's all a
still
lie.
involved in it? It's
The
crazy.
only the only reason I pay any attention to Hillary Clinton at all is because you know that whole like rumor that like the government might be like these reptilian aliens and all that stuff. You've heard
Yeah.
that? See,
Yeah.
see just to clear, because people ask me about that. I don't
Well, that's
actually
David
think.
Ike, isn't it?
Well, he's one of the big proponents of
Well,
that. But the
you
thing,
know what he was saying when he was saying lizard people, right?
no, I actually know all about that subject. Yeah,
Zionists.
yeah,
He was
I,
saying Zionists. He just didn't want
yeah.
to say Zionist because he'd be eviscerated.
Well, there's that too. But no, just the idea. Like, I just like to point out that like I don't really believe that there are reptile people running around the government except Hillary Clinton. I think it might
She
just
is
be
kind of
just her. I don't think
and
she's
and
human, but
Michelle
everyone else
Obama's
is.
definitely a dude.
He's definitely a dude. Bro, I haven't worked out in 3 months because I've been injured ever since Mexico, and I drool over Michelle Obama's back, just thinking like, man, I used to look like that. Like, when am I gonna get back in the gym and be as
She's
jacked up as?
thick, dude. She's
Yeah,
thick.
she looks like she could play for the Packers. That bitch. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Like, what? I don't even know why they need bodyguards. You got Michelle right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you go to Anarchapulco?
I did for like
Is that
two
where you hurt
days.
yourself?
What happened to me actually was I got sick on the plane ride down, and one of my favorite parts is that everybody, when I told them I got sick on the trip, they're like, "You got sick in Mexico, right? You got sick in Mexico.
Yeah, of
Mexico got
course
you
you
sick."
did.
Yeah, no, I actually got sick on the plane to Mexico, and I was basically there for like 2 days, and then by the third day, like I couldn't even talk. And then what happened was I didn't work out for like 3 weeks, and I was like crazy, crazy sick. And then when I went back to the gym, I like overtrained like an asshole. I did like back 2 days in a row and like chest 2 days in a row.
Fucked
And on my
yourself up.
last set, I fucking strained. I'm not in pain. Like I should be good in a couple
Yeah.
of weeks. It doesn't hurt, but I'm not one of these like juice head idiots that's just gonna like start plowing through weights again and hurt myself worse. So I just been fucking. I feel like Thor in Endgame. That's why I grew the beard and I'm like fat now. You know?
Dude, I fucked up I tore my ACL last year. That shit sucks.
Not a good
Having
feeling.
getting
Yeah.
injured sucks.
Yeah.
Like I was doing jujitsu and shit, and I fucked my knee up. I can't do it anymore. Like
Yeah. Getting old
it
is getting old.
sucks.
If you ask me, I'm not really into
Yeah,
this, but you know, it is what it
no,
is. But
it's
so
crazy.
when are you supposed to debate Christian? I'm definitely watching that. That's gonna be
Well,
fun.
he's always like, "Let's do it tonight," and I'm like, I got kids and shit, so like, I'm trying to find the right moderator to do it first, and then I'll hit him up. But
How do you do a
probably pretty
moderator?
soon because I probably will use him for a couple things like minimum wage and a couple other things that I know he'll probably be a pretty good candidate for
Yeah,
content for because
yeah.
I
You
want to
just
get out
cut
all
up
the
the videos.
basics,
Yeah, cut
like
up the
the
videos like I do. That way you can see. Because like sometimes when you post like a video that's like an hour long, people are just like, oh, I'm not gonna watch this. But you like chop them
oh
up into
yeah,
little
for sure.
clips. People love that
Yeah.
shit. Especially
Yeah.
But how do you even get a moderator on Facebook? Can you do that? Because isn't it only like one on one?
Yeah, I think you would have to somehow maybe Skype both people, or I don't know. There's some way of doing it, or it wouldn't be on Facebook,
Yeah.
probably. I'd
Oh,
have
okay.
to
Because he's
use
totally going
some
to talk
third
over
party.
you. That's what he
Huh?
does. He just talks over
Yeah,
everyone,
that's
which is
why I
fine
need a
for me. But
moderator.
no, yeah, I totally
Well, because
understand why people don't want to debate him. I think like the 3 debates that I had with him kind of show why it's hard for him to get a
yeah,
debate. But
yeah, I need like it has to be pro gear because there has to be a moderator that can just shut mics off.
yeah, see, I don't actually, I've never had a debate like that. Like to me, it's a little bit weird. Like I don't even know if I would know how
No, we're
to
gonna do
like.
like 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off,
Yeah, I don't know
response.
if I could do that. To me, that's like
Yeah.
weird. I'm like a conversationalist. Like I'm not really sure if I could just sit here in front of the camera and like talk my
Yeah,
views for. Like, I
you're
feel
just
weird doing that.
yeah. Structured debates are better for making it more watchable, you know,
Yeah, I could
to
believe that.
to
Well, I feel
um
like I make the debate watchable just debating
well
Christian, just
yeah,
because it's
that's your
yeah,
thing, so that works.
yeah. It was fun. I'm trying to get more people to debate me. I was trying to get Yakov or however you say it, but he only wanted to
Yakov.
do it with a moderator.
Yeah, he
Yakov.
won't he will not he will absolutely not. He refuses to recorded debate me on the subject of Israel. He just deflects. He's like, "Oh, well,
Really?
if
Even
you're
with a
gonna hate on
moderator?
Israel, you just gotta hate on the USA." And I'm like, "I do. So
Yeah.
let's do this."
With the upside down
Like,
flag behind you? Yeah.
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one, people just, and then it's funny because when I'll do these posts, I'll get a ton of people responding to it, but they're all on my side. So they're like, hell yeah, I want to see that. But then they'll tag random people in and I'll hit these people up, I'll friend them and I'll be like, let's do this, let's do this,
Right.
let's do this, let's do this.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
just like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And it's just like, no one wants to go on with anyone who's confident at all or who
No,
can,
no.
you know,
The
keep
problem is
their
everyone has
ideas.
an agenda. Like that's the thing. Like I mean, you could even argue that I have an agenda, but my agenda is just to be as honest as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I'm not defending. I'm not trying to defend the United States. I'm not trying to defend Israel. I'm just honest to the point as best that I understand things. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
that
for
that
sure.
that's really my only agenda, which is I think why people don't want to debate me because they try to like stick up for some point of view that was like hammered into their brain as like a young kid, and like I'm
Yeah.
just like, hey, they're totally lying
Or
about
it's
everything.
something their uncle said once. They're like,
Yeah, right.
ooh, I know politics.
Right. Like that's the thing. To be honest with you, I don't even really want to talk. Not to say that I don't, but I'm not really even that interested in talking about like anarchy per se. Like I want to talk about like the
No, it's
pyramids and all
so
sorts
boring,
of
dude. That's
yeah.
why
It's
all these liberty events, oh my God, like so boring. Like I want to go pay
yeah.
money to go listen to some dude say some regurgitating shit that Ron Paul
Right.
said fucking 15 years ago. Like this shit's,
Yeah.
dude, the liberty stuff is basic. Like
Right.
it's
I was
basic
past
and
this
we
in
should all
like
be so far from this point
yeah.
now, but
That's the thing. But
everybody
you
just
can't.
loves kind of sitting around in it.
Even most of the anarchist community too, like they don't really get into that stuff, which is why I specifically
No.
try to help like more Passio and shit, because like we're trying to like push people past the politics. It's just like they've been lying
So
to us
boring.
about the system since like the dawn of man. Like even even the religions. Why do you think Christians say Amen at the end of every fucking prayer? They're praying to Amen Ra, the Egyptian god. Well, why are
Yeah.
Christians praying to an Egyptian god? Like people don't
Because it's
understand this
just a
type of shit.
story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. It's just the point. Like they don't really seem to like get it past the politics. Though I have seen people like Josh Sergison, like he's been doing this thing into that type of stuff. Yeah, and even Adam Kokesh did something on the pyramids. It wasn't like a major thing, but like like I'll talk about anarchy, and that's mainly what I do. But I'm more interested in some of these like esoteric topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to talk about the Vatican, the fucking all the
Yeah.
symbols they have there. The pine cones and all that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
All
I
the
could go.
satanic shit at the Vatican.
Yeah, like they have all sorts of fucking madness there. It's its own country.
Yeah,
I want to get in that library.
Ancient Aliens was like a total bullshit show, like there it's almost all the stuff in it's be debunked, but it did show you how much other shit there is out in the
Yeah,
world, that they didn't teach us in elementary school when you grow up in
right.
elementary school in the US, you only know so much shit. And
Yeah,
then a show like that comes along where you're like, "What?"
yeah. That's what I
like
mean.
like the pyramids aren't the only other thing out there. Like there's
No,
all
there's
these other
actually I think like
crazy.
200 pyramids in China. There are larger ones, like the Zion
Yeah,
pyramids. They're called. I think they're like 4 times the size of the pyramids of Giza. The thing with the Giza pyramids on the
that
plateau
one's
is
like a
that they're
mountain in China. It's like a whole mountain, like
yeah,
a
they have like
huge
in caves
mountain.
and shit. Like, yeah, it's fucking nuts. And that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
you can't talk to a lot of people about this. Like, oh, that's just that crazy conspiracy. It's like, nah, motherfucker. Like, they're lying to us about all of reality. It's not just the government and stuff. Like, these are just the after effects of how they've enslaved us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The main point of my activism, or whatever you want to call it, is I'm just trying to get people to understand that these people that rule over us, like whether it's like the church or the government or whatever it is, these people know how we work better than we do. You know what I'm saying? Like they know our psychology better, which is how they've maintained control over the masses for thousands of years. They know how to get us hyped up to behave a certain
Yeah.
way. And like, yeah, I know you know what it is. And
They've had
when you
gazillions
understand
of
all
dollars
this,
invested in everything to
yeah,
figure out everything, how to control
sure,
us in every
sure.
way. We had no chance. Nobody had a chance here.
No, no,
Like we
that's
had
what I
no
mean.
chance. It's crazy.
Right. It is, and like I said, it's tough to get people past that, and it's just kind of like when you really like start studying like the esoteric and stuff. Like I said, like I'm totally an anarchist, but like I don't even really care to like wait. You don't get that we don't need a government? Like you're kind of stupid then. Like I'm like so far beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I lived in Central America for a while, and you'd be shocked. Like the average Nicaraguans that I came across, I talked to about politics, they're so
Hmm.
on point down there, like
I
super
believe it.
intelligent people. But then there was like a lot of travelers that I would meet, and we'd start and like everybody was super into Bernie Sanders and wanting to talk to me
Yeah.
about Bernie, and I would just
Right.
shoot them down and like so quick, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like, and it was so weird because people didn't know how, like, especially in LA, like people don't know how to understand if that you don't like Bernie Sanders. Like, it's
Yeah.
super crazy. Like, they're like, "What?" Like,
They're
so
just all under
weird.
hypnosis. That's
Yeah,
all.
but if you have some good shit, if you have some good shit to say about it, like people are just all, oh shit. So I'm
Apparently,
like,
that
oh well,
Cali weed
if
can't be that
Bernie,
good if they think Bernie Sanders is all right. I'm telling you,
no,
they ain't
I'm,
smoking a.
yeah, they'd be like, well, how could you not like Bernie? Because the second he'd be given power, he'd be corrupted. And they're like, oh, well, what about like, like, or I'd explain to them how psychopaths are attracted to political positions like
Right.
flies on shit,
Yeah,
and
or
that's all you get.
perhaps
And
all the church fucking with the little boys that's gone on to the dawn of man, and it's in the newspapers every week, and people just go, that's
yeah,
okay. They'll move them to the next church, and they'll fuck those kids. You know?
seriously. I
Yeah.
watched that documentary. Holy crap.
Oh, there's so many of them. That's the
Dude,
thing.
there's
That's one of those
tons of
things
them
where
on
it's never.
Netflix.
No, I believe it. That's what I mean. It's like, like it's one of those things that it's just widely accepted. Like people call me a conspiracy theorist because I like to bring up stuff like 9/11 and shit. But like every weekend you have a new priest like touching the boys, and our people are just cool with that. Like you're like, no problem.
There's been movies about it. My whole life, there's been movies about it. You know,
Yeah,
they just keep going. What
no
do you think
problem.
about Judy Wood?
I'm not sure who's that specifically. Is that like a big one or
Judy
something?
Wood, 9/11.
Not sure.
Oh shit, I got a link for you, man. I got
Oh
something
yeah,
you really need to
yeah,
watch.
maybe the
If you're a
name escapes me.
9/11
What was
guy,
it
I got
about?
something you need
I
to
know all
watch.
about it. Yeah,
It's about
sure.
dues,
Okay. Yeah, the
directed
thing
at
is,
new
there's
weapons.
so much to know that it's like hard to know
Yeah, well,
everything.
this
But I
this
know that they're
lady,
lying.
this lady is a scientist, a real ass motherfucking scientist that
Hmm.
goes at 9/11 and looks at the evidence instead
Yeah.
of just all the bullshit. Just oh, a plane did a plane, like she
Right.
goes through every little step, and she's a legit scientist. And it's a 2 hour lecture, but it's one of the gnarliest things I've ever seen. In my opinion, it's what happened
Yeah.
definitely to the
You know what?
towers.
One of my favorite things that like debunked 9/11. I mean, there's literally like probably thousands of things, but one of my personal favorites was when they like released to the public that like the people on the flight like all called their parents saying that they were going to die.
Yeah, no
You know
cell
about
phones
that?
work. Yeah, no
Well,
cell
but
phones
not only
work.
did they work though, but my favorite part is the fact that every single person that they said their full name. Like if you knew you were in a plane
Yeah.
crash about to die and you
Hey,
called your
it's
mother, would you
Jason.
say, "Hey, it's Jeffrey Phillips. Hi, Ma,
Yeah,
it's Justin Padini. I'm gonna die." She
yeah,
knows who it is.
yeah,
Like why would all of them coincidentally? No, like people are stupid and soft, and they need to admit these things to themselves. You know?
yeah. And it's funny because you got architects and engineers, saying this thermite, and like all these architects and engineers are full of shit. Like something else happened. Like dancing Israelis, that's been in the news a bunch lately. Did you see that?
I don't.
Something about the
Nah,
dancing
probably not.
Israelis came out, like some new footage or
To be honest, I haven't really been up on much because I've been kind of depressed and everything. So I haven't really been like into researching anything. I've been kind of like listening to music and moping around. But normally I would. But send it to me. I'll check it out.
do you know about early the guy who started We Are Change?
Not specifically. No,
Oh,
I
okay.
know the movement obviously, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure who it is.
Well, it was a kid. You'll probably be interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
So the son of one of the firemen who um, ran into the building, or who allegedly ran into the building, when he was told the story of how his dad died, it was something like they told him that
I
I
heard
don't know,
about
there was
this.
something really specific, but he didn't believe it. And he was one of the first people, like on 9/12,
Yeah,
screaming from the rooftops that it was bullshit. He was like, "This was
really.
bullshit." There's footage of him inside a room, and a huge room full of people, hundreds of people,
Hmm.
screaming that about how this is bullshit and how they're lying about how his dad died and everything, and the whole room's erupting.
Oh,
Like,
I'm surprised they didn't
yeah,
like
but
knock him
but
down. Yeah.
no, they believe, like, it
Oh,
was like he
really?
was, yeah, no,
Yeah, because
like
you seen the first responders video with the
there
firefighters.
there
Like,
was a
why would they
huge
lie?
movement. There was a huge movement of people that didn't believe the original story from day one, but that shit got
Hmm.
squashed, obviously. But
Right.
anyway, so the kid started We Are Change, and he ended up dead.
Really? Yeah, no surprise there.
Mysteriously ended up dead. You should look into this shit. It's pretty interesting. That's when Luke was, I guess, good buddies with him back then, who took over
Hmm.
and did it now. And I worked for him for a couple years, a few years back. That was pretty fun. But that story is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Watching
that does
the
actually ring.
footage,
Yeah, that does
you've
actually ring
probably
some
heard
bells.
it.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been so long now, and like I said, I only really put myself out on the internet like a year and a half ago or so, but I've been into this stuff for a long time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, like, I have a good amount of knowledge of this stuff in my brain, but like, I'm not really great with specifics all the time. Like, I'm more of a right
yeah.
brain person. I'm kind of more of like an imaginative person than somebody that's like facts, facts,
Dude, you'll
facts.
you'll you'll love the Judy Wood thing, man. That shit
Yeah,
blew me
yeah.
away.
I was trying to get Christian to debate me on 9/11, but I don't think he wants to do that. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a topic I
that's
know a
just
good
gonna
amount
be
on.
that's
So.
just gonna be a mess.
Yeah, I was telling him I was gonna.
It's too much information. There's
Yeah,
so much information.
yeah,
Like, and that's why these topics are such hot topics, because there's so much information,
Yeah,
and the powers that
someone that
be, know we'll be debating them, every aspect of them forever. That's why flat earth is around, like,
right, exactly. Like
because a
it
bunch
doesn't
of
even
people are going to
matter.
debate that instead of something important.
Yeah, flat Earth is the dumbest shit ever. Like, first off, honestly, like I tell people, like I think the Earth is round, but I kind of hope that it's flat. Like, I think it would just make everything a lot cooler if it's really flat. And if it
Yeah,
really is
I think
flat, I'll
there's
be like,
more
oh
out
shit, it's
there.
flat. Who cares?
I don't know
You know?
whether it's round or flat or the size, shape of a pear or
Yeah,
a pumpkin,
it's
or I don't know, but I think there's more land out there that they're hiding from us for sure.
I'm sure they're hiding all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? It's just about control. You know what I love to ask flat Earth people? I've never gotten an even remotely decent answer for this. Is like, if you know how the ruling elite work and operate, like they're obsessed with the ancient world, like ancient Egypt, ancient Sumerian stuff for good reason, because the Egyptians had the entire solar system laid out in order
Yeah, they
somehow,
knew
and
that
the
shit.
shape, the size, and the shape of the planets, so did the Sumerians. Which that's a whole other topic we'll talk about. But my point is that if you know about the Egyptians, they've known about this for a while. The ruling elite used to propagate to the masses that the Earth was flat, so they wouldn't really venture too far off, because humanity in and of itself is religious, I'm sorry, like superstitious by nature, which is why
Yeah,
religion works so great. So what they would do is they would propagate this to the masses, like don't go too far, you'll fall off, and all that fucking bullshit. And people believed it for the most part. So my
yeah.
question for the flat Earth people would be like, okay, so we know that they did that. So what benefit does the ruling elite gain from tricking me into thinking the world is round now? And they run scared from that. They have nothing for it. Well, yeah, they don't know what to do with
Well,
that. So,
it's probably scarcity. You know, our whole system is based off scarcity, and
oh
if
yeah,
we're all stuck on a little rock floating in space, then they could charge us a ton of money for rent and charge a ton for gas and all that stuff. I mean,
yeah.
scarcity's everything.
Yeah,
It's the
no, right.
basis
That's
of
why they keep
everything.
us under oil and all that stuff.
We
Yeah,
think
that's why.
property is worth what it is because there's not much of it, we think. But I mean,
Yeah,
they did after World War II, they went down to Antarctica and looked all over it, and they were like, dude, there's so much natural resources there, it's not even funny. And then
I'm
we
sure.
never went back to get them, and instead
Right,
we're fighting wars in the Middle East allegedly for oil and like all this stuff. It just makes no sense.
right.
Um,
That's why I bring up to people is when people start like trying to throw like science at me and this and that, it's just kind of like, are you mean the same scientist or like the same scientist that would tell me that chemotherapy is the only way to treat cancer, that we
yeah,
just can't get off oil? Like, take your fucking science and go fuck yourself. Like, take your peer
scientism is a
reviews and go
disease,
fuck
man.
yourself. Like, right?
Scientism
Yeah,
is a disease just
it
like
totally is.
liberalism.
Right? Yeah,
And
right, right. All of it.
I'm not
It's
some
all mental
religious freak,
traps.
like obviously, because
Yeah.
people be like, oh, if you're against science, then you must be, a Christian or something. And it's like, no, I just
No.
know that scientists have notoriously or historically been mostly full of shit. Like
Yeah.
they're
Right.
professional conspiracy theorists basically,
Yeah. I,
and
I like
they're not
science.
always right.
No, that's the
I mean,
thing. The
there's
scientific
that
method
clip.
is great. The scientific
Yeah, of
method is
course.
great, but they don't use that. Like one of the best examples, one of the best examples I've ever seen. Did you see? Graham Hancock,
Yeah,
the Egyptologist. Did you see when he
yeah.
debated Zachariah Haas, however you pronounce his name, Zachariah Haas or something?
I don't think
Zachariah
so.
Haas is, bro. I'll send you this video. It's fucking magnificent. Like, just so you know, I think I might be butchering his name, but Zachariah Haas is the lead mainstream Egyptologist, right? Graham
Yeah.
Hancock is like, I guess, the closest thing to a mainstream fringe Egyptologist. So they debated
He's the guy
like a
who
year or
thinks
two ago.
that the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids, right? He
Well,
thinks
not
that they just
necessarily.
vandalized them, kind of.
Not necessarily. I like when we're talking about. It depends which Egyptians you're talking about. Like, not the
We'll do that
modern
next
ones.
week.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure, sure. We can get back into that. But where I was going with this is that to prove how full of shit these like historians and these science people are. There's a video of again, it's short, of Graham Hancock debating this Zwaya Haas guy. And when he starts posing some questions that like someone like me or you would ask, like, well, hey, what about this? He literally starts yelling at him and runs away on video. Literally starts yelling at this motherfucker
Yeah,
and runs away. Like, if they're willing to do it here
that's
and
what
it's
they
on,
do.
why would it be so crazy to think this should be in other cases? You know?
Yeah, yeah. That's what happened to that guy Pan, the senator in California who did the mandatory vaccination. When he was in an interview, he jumped up and ran out and ran away. Like, it's hilarious with these
Yeah.
people. I mean, that's what happens if you try and debate like, or if you try and ask like Bill Nye or any of those guys,
Yeah.
they're just like fuck you. Or have you seen the videos when I called into Dr. Drew's show and asked him about
No, definitely send me that. No, I
oh
didn't see
dude,
that.
he is the master sidestepper. Like that dude,
Really?
so funny. Yeah, because
Yeah, let me at
he
these people.
yeah, well, the thing is, so Dr. Drew has a daytime radio show in LA. He takes
Hmm.
callers all day. I've gotten in every single time I've called. It's so dope. Um,
What
I've
did you
been
call them
telling
out on?
people about it too, huh?
What did you call them
I've
out
been
on?
telling, well, one time he was talking about how great the central banks were, and the Fed is just
That's
amazing,
fantastic.
full of amazing people. And I called up and I was like, if the Fed's so amazing, how is it that since its inception our dollar has dropped by 99%? Like
Yeah, yeah,
how
isn't it like
exactly do you
97% or
call that?
something?
And he's all oh well you know like he couldn't
Yeah.
even he was just like, oh well, I know people. I don't know anything about it, but I know people there, and I know they're doing good things. Like all this bullshit, and I'm like, dude, you're not even like you aren't even acknowledging what I just said. Like our
Yeah.
dollar has
They
dropped
can't.
97% since the Fed started. How do you see that as being
Yeah.
amazing? You know?
Yeah.
And he
These
just
people are totally
sidestepped, and
full
then
of shit.
he went to a commercial, and then there was some article or there was something in the news where a Jewish cemetery was vandalized, and and they were blaming it on Trump. And I called in when Dr. Drew was talking about it, and I was like, "Do you think that it was really Nazis that did that, or do you think that people are just upset because of the genocide that's being committed in in Palestine
Right.
right now by Israel?" And he was just like, he's like, "Oh, well, that's a real loaded question, and we'll need at least like
So,
we only have like so much time to talk about it." And he's like, and I was like, "Well." I said something about Zionism, and he's like, "Well, that depends on what your definition of Zionism is, and if Zionism and Judaism are the same thing." And I'm all, they're not. One's a political ideology, and one's a
right.
religion. They're totally
Religion,
different
yeah.
things. And he's just like, "Oh, well, we're not going to go into that now," and like went to the next caller, and I was totally nailed him. But he's a oh man, I mean, think about it, 40 years on the radio. The dude
Yeah.
sidestepped shit like a king, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
smoked
sure.
him both times. Next time I call in, I'm going to ask him if he vaccinated his kids,
Yeah, yeah, see what he said.
because
Yeah,
that'll be
that's what
funny to hear what he says.
that's one of the really really hot topics. Like that's why like I took that jab today or whatever. It's just like people don't seem to people are too polarized on like one side or the other. Like I just try to
Yeah,
like for example, I don't know what's in these fucking vaccines. I'm not like a scientist. I don't know what goes into these things. But if you
yeah,
know the history of what the government has done, why would it
yeah.
be so crazy to think that
And
they might do something like that?
if
Like
you
it's
know
just, you
that
know.
there are government vaccine damage courts, like
Right, yeah, and they've like they got lawsuits and won, right?
yeah.
I think.
So I got two kids, right? I'm
Yeah.
unvaccinated. I was born at home. My mom was a hippie. She didn't
Oh,
vaccinate
good
me.
for you. I
Dude,
got
I've
bad
never,
allergies probably from
dude,
that shit.
bro, I have never been sick. I've
Really?
been sick. I know I got the flu once when I was a kid. I got chicken pox.
Hmm.
Um, I get like a little bit sniffles every couple years, but I don't get sick. I've been super
Yeah.
fucking healthy. I'm 40. I still feel like a kid.
Hmm.
My daughter, who's 4, is not vaccinated, right? She's never been sick.
Yeah,
Strong as
good.
an
Right.
ox. Like we went to Central America and lived there for a while, and like she didn't even get, usually when you go there, you get sick pretty,
Hmm.
in the first month, and then you're fine. She didn't get
Hmm.
sick. Like she doesn't get sick. She's fine. Super healthy, super
Yeah.
strong.
It's
My
just a hoax.
son, yeah, my son's mom, despite me after we broke up, vaccinated him.
Wow.
Luckily, I was able to stop it from happening when he was an infant, and it was later on. I think he was 4. But the second he was vaccinated, he's sick all the fucking time,
Go
and he's got to
figure.
go to the
But you're
doctor,
probably
and
just a conspiracy
they give him
theorist.
antibiotics. Like
Yeah.
I saw him get antibiotics like 6 times,
Yeah.
like over a few years. And I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on? and my kid's mom's just like, meh, you know.
It's madness. Like I have really bad allergies. I would attribute to probably the vaccines because my dad didn't have
Oh,
allergies and my
guaranteed.
mother didn't. Yeah, and I have
Allergies
horrible
exist
allergies.
because of vaccines.
Yeah,
Like, that's what
allergies
peanut
don't
allergies
even make
came
any
up.
sense. Like that's the
Peanut
thing. Like if you
allergies didn't
understand how.
exist 30 years ago. There were no peanut allergies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense when you like measure and weigh it. Like, just the way reality and evolution and things work. Like, like over time, like animals like develop like claws and fangs, like things to like benefit them for survival. Like, why am I a
Like
pussy when it comes to like
evolution.
dust and pollen? I'm just like, I'm like 250-pound muscular guy. It's like, oh god, no. I
Yeah,
just can't.
some
Like,
dust is
what
going to take you
happened?
down.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
you
Like
got
when
to
I can't
compromise the
even
immune
clean.
system,
Like clean. I have to
unfortunately.
like have someone clean my room because the dust will send me into a fucking frenzy. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like
Yeah,
it sucks. You know?
it's crazy. Yeah,
No, it
heavy
really is,
metal,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Tons of
it's
heavy
just,
metal in our brains.
yeah, like I said, they've got this whole thing set up from the start. It's just most people, it's too far out and too negative for them to even consider. Like I couldn't even
Yeah.
tell you the amount of friends that I've lost because I'm like into this type of stuff. And
Oh
again,
yeah.
like I'm not trying to tell you everything I'm saying is definitely true, but why can't we consider these things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like with like the ruling elite. Like this might sound like an extreme far out example to a lot of people, but like if you study history and like the ruling cabals, the ruling elite, they've been involved in all sorts of madness. Like the Aztecs, they built a temple, like a new church, like 400 or 500 years ago. They like literally sacrificed 70,000 people. They drink blood, all sorts of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like since the dawn of time. So like, why would it be so crazy to think that the same people now do something similar? Or
Yeah.
why is that so crazy to think? Like, you think
Yeah.
things are that different? So
Like
I don't
powerful
know.
people, there are powerful people in every community, and they tend to do fucked up shit
Yeah,
since
man.
the dawn
You
of
know.
time.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. It's the old religion. The old religion is just slavery, and that's all it's
Yeah.
ever been. But as humanity gets like smarter and smarter and like slowly evolves, and that's not really saying much for us. But like they have to like kind of reoperate how they do things. So they know they can't have like a hard form of slavery anymore because we're less productive. So they give us a soft
Yeah.
form of slavery. Like I don't have a
Yeah.
guy with whip above me, but if I run out of money, they think because I could
I'm
walk up the
fucked.
block and
Yeah.
get like a font of soda, that like I'm free or
Yeah.
something. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's not freedom.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
weird that there
it's,
was
it's
just one day someone showed up and was like, "You got to start paying for shit." And it's like, huh?
yeah, it kind of doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah.
like I said, that's why I research like the ancient past a lot now, more so than like modern day
Well,
politics. I
because
don't even
those are
really
all
pay that much
anarchist
attention.
communities, basically.
Yeah, like I said,
A
that's
lot of
why
them.
we're trying to like push some of the anarchists even further into like what would be considered like occult knowledge and stuff, because it's like all that it really means is just like like deep rooted conspiracies and shit. But like people think it's like a religion or something. Like I ain't fucking religious. But people just like they're not willing to entertain it because it like sounds like more far out than what they've normally heard or something. So I don't know what else to do. So I've been trying to have some fun with it. I don't know if you see some of the fucking jokes I post and stuff, but yeah, I'm stupid. you
That's
know.
funny. Well,
You want to wrap up
okay.
here, or we'll do another one, or you want to discuss Christian,
Whatever,
or
you got something else?
I guess we're good for the night. We could definitely do it again if you're down. You know what I mean? I'll
Yeah.
probably be free Sunday if you want to go
Dude, I'm
again.
always down. Well, I'm trying to, because I just went through custody court for the last fucking 8 months of my life.
I'm sorry
So
to
I
hear that.
haven't hardly done anything, you know, any podcast, any debate, anything. And so I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm
But
super stoked to come
no,
on
I'll
with
tell if
you
you want, I'll
whenever.
totally come on, man.
And
Like I said, I just
I
kind of,
mean, shit, once a
I'm just trying to
week.
get the anarchist. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get like some of the anarchist community to put themselves more out there and stuff. Because like,
Yeah,
like so many people
they
post stuff
hid
on the internet, but people don't really like put themselves out there. So I figured I would try to
2000.
encourage
Dude,
people to do so.
it's crazy how many amazing activists I know. No one's done shit. Shit. Like
Yeah,
how is there not another Luke Radowski? How is there not another Adam Kokesh? How are there not
yeah,
other these dudes that do good activism, and are good you
I'm
know,
actually
have
supposed
made
to
all these
interview
videos
Adam.
that got us into
Yeah.
this shit, and no one else is doing it. Like, it's crazy. I mean, I'm
No,
not,
I
but
agree.
I
Like,
try.
I'm not really so much of like a street activist. Like, I like, you know, I'm not really the type of person that like goes around with like a camera. But like, I just fuck with people. Like, I'll just go
Yeah.
up to like random strangers in the supermarket and be like, hey, you ever think they're like lying to us about stuff? They'll be like, well, what do you mean? And because I kind of like throw jokes into my bullshit, so people don't know whether to take me seriously or not.
Yeah.
And I just kind of leave them like, was he serious or like, you know, I kind of just leave them in the state of like, what, you know?
Well,
I think
it's
it's
like
funny. I might
the
be a
whole
bad
like
person, but.
yeah, it's like the whole Ben Shapiro way of debating where you start off with something funny or complimentary to the person, or you start off,
Hmm.
you know, agreeing with them on something. It's a good way,
Hmm.
it's a good tactic to use to get people to chill out and actually talk to you.
Right, right. Okay. I didn't even do it like that on purpose. Like I said, I'm just more,
Well,
I'm
you,
kind of like a jester. You know what I mean? Like I'm just always thinking of some fucking stupid shit, you know? But,
you're
what was,
what were those guys, those dudes from New York, the prank callers? You know,
the Jerky Boys. I heard they got a new
Jerky
album coming out,
Boys.
actually. I heard they got a new album coming out,
No
actually. I heard,
way.
yeah, I just heard
No
that like a month
way.
ago. They got a new album coming out. Yeah. All right,
Oh
ZCO.
my God.
Yeah, no, that shit was hilarious back
I
in the day.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
That just reminded me because your accent, and I think you're like, I'm a goofy motherfucker.
Oh, I totally am. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I can get serious and everything, but I try not to be like, I try to be like lighthearted in my approach because a lot of people tell me I'm like negative and stuff. And like, I mean, I talk about negative things, but I feel like I do it in like a comical way at least. Where I don't like, do you find me very depressing? You know, I don't
No,
think.
not at
Yeah, I
all.
don't think so, right?
No.
You know,
Uh-uh.
but I think people just do that to like not take the message seriously, like because then they would have some responsibility to do something about it, and that's what people don't want. You know.
Yeah. I
But yeah, I'm
mean,
actually. Yeah.
people remember weird things and they pay attention to weird things. And it was funny. It was like when I was in custody court, it was like everything. It was like my kid's mom brought in all this stuff from my Facebook, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And of
that's good.
course,
Oh
she
man.
just brings the fringiest shit, you know, and
Right,
it's like
right,
she
right.
ignores the like, you know, the like healthy recipes I'm giving people, and you know,
Right.
like all this other
Right, right.
super positive,
Right, right.
peaceful
Oh,
fucking, you
Jesus.
know, she leaves out the part that I'm a peace activist and just is like anarchist. And
Right,
it
right.
was
Because
super
where the
funny to see
connotation
the
with the
things
very,
that
yeah,
she that ended up
was.
as evidence in court.
Yeah, yeah. They don't
And
like that word.
having
I'll admit, like I was even kind of like I didn't like the word for a while. I thought it meant like chaos too, until like it was broken down for me. And then I had one of my boys is like an English teacher, and he actually was like, "No, that's really what it means." I'm like, "Oh shit, what do you know? You know that's more of a
yeah,
lie
it's
too."
Latin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, like I
It was
said, he
funny
just
though,
spoke
because
into.
the judge like was like cracking jokes about me being anti-authoritarian and all this stuff. Like he didn't even care. And he told
Really?
my kid's mom, he was like, people can believe in these things and not be terrible parents, you know? Like
Right,
I
right.
don't
Well, that's
understand what
cool.
you're trying to say. Like, you
Well,
know,
that's good at least. Yeah, like I said,
yeah, the dude I was dude, so this is the craziest shit. I had the best experience with CPS and the court system in a custody case, being a male who's covered in tattoos, who's a
yeah, go
libertarian
figure.
anarcho-capitalist. I
Yeah.
had an amazing experience. Totally unheard of. Should
Maybe,
not have
maybe they,
happened.
you know what? Maybe they'd hope that you'd go back to being a statist if they were nice to you. You know,
Yeah,
like maybe they planned it. Like maybe, maybe if we're all right with this guy, he won't be, be putting these ideas
well,
out on the internet,
the thing is that in California, things are very different here than the regular rest of the country.
I've
And
heard.
CPS is now called DCFS. They
Okay.
changed their name because they want to ditch that whole, they're started everything new. Everyone out here that works for DCFS is like so professional. So
Really?
the customer service, like
I mean, look what they
unbelievable.
do, like
Yeah, it's a
you
horrible
can't be a
job.
good person and do that. Like that's the thing.
No.
Like a lot of these government jobs, like you can't be a good person and hold these jobs. Like again,
Yeah.
like you could be nice. Like I know people that are nice, but like think about what it is that you're actually doing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
of
You're
course you're gonna be nice to
destroying
your kids.
yeah, I mean, it's just if you're it's hard, I don't know. I just don't see how they could be unbiased. But anyway, so I just it was the craziest thing because like I met with CPS or DCFS. met with them 3 or 4 times, and they're like high-fiving me like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, we see this shit every day, like
Really?
it was crazy. They came to me, like I never had to go in and see, like it was a
Yeah.
super good experience. They stepped up like in court for me. The judge I got has been super cool. Like, it's scary, when especially being an activist and you share all this stuff about the court system and about the court system and about CPS and you hear all the stories because you've shared all the articles about CPS taking kids away and them dying and all this crap, like all these horrible stories. And then I have this amazing experience. And
Yeah, it makes, yeah,
I
that's what I
told
mean.
I
Like
told the
maybe,
judge, I was like, what, this whole experience has really changed my mind about a couple things. Yeah, I am an anarchist. Yeah, I am very against authority and whatever. But I've got to tell you, this experience is changing my mind about a few things.
yeah,
Not like
maybe,
changing my
no,
mind,
no, I
but I'm
understand.
shocked,
No, yeah, like
how,
hopefully, well, the whole plan is to get people to just become more sympathetic, I guess, like human people. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's kind of what the problem is that like a lot of these people act like machines. They act like robots. That's why I try to explain, like when you go into boot camps, like what they do, they shut off your limbic brain, you get the ability to feel like sympathy from, and that's why they
yeah,
do that. Most people don't like understand how these things work. They think it's whatever, but like they literally like break a part of you, and
yeah. And it was,
we gotta restore that basically.
yeah, it was crazy because at no point was I like, I mean, looking back, there were a couple times where I was like, oh, I'm getting fucked, because I'm not
Yeah.
seeing my daughter over some bullshit. But looking back, they were never unreasonable with me, and they didn't really do anything ever that was like not what they should have done in
Yeah.
that scenario,
Well, at least they're
like,
improving. That's
yeah,
definitely a positive thing. Like I
it's
said, like,
crazy.
I'd like to see the state get better. You know what I mean? That's why, like I
Well,
don't want the state, but I'd rather it be better
I'd
than
like to
worse,
see it privatized.
Oh, of course, you know what I mean? But like,
Obviously.
given the circumstances that we're under, we can only beg and hope for so much.
Yeah,
But
but
all
yeah,
right, yeah. So you
that
want
was
to just wrap up
shocking.
here because I got to take
Sure.
care of something anyway. But
All right, man.
well, you said you're gonna get back to podcasting and stuff. I'll totally come on your podcast if you want.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Let's do it like monthly or
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I got plenty to talk about. Once I'm like I get my head out, once I like sink out of this depression, like I'll be back full force. I've been kind of like off my like game lately. So, but
Dude, nothing
hopefully it's
makes you
only a
feel
few more
better like
weeks.
making new content.
Oh no, no, no. Well, I've been writing up a storm of jokes. The problem is
Yeah.
that like I kind of have a dark sense of humor, so it's not really for everyone. You know what I mean? So, but that's always fun. But yeah, man. Well, like I said, Jeff, thanks for live chatting with me, and
Yeah, man.
keep in
Thanks for having
touch,
me
and
on.
I'll come on yours next time or whatever. All right.
Word. All right.
Have a great night, man. Good talking to
Peace.
you. Easy.